I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have a roll call?
Yes, sir. Jamie Bowman. Frank Myers.
Here.
Donna Roush.
Here.
Martha Patterson.
Here.
Casey Benner.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
The next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion we approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion to approve and a second for the agenda. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Agenda is approved. Approval of minutes for the previous meeting.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Are there any comments on the minutes of the October 15, 2018 meeting?
She made a motion to approve, and I seconded.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear it, I'm sorry. Motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes of the October 15th meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the introduction of evidence. David Bova.
I have here the design guidelines for the Historic Commission, the Municipal Code of the City of St. Genevieve, and then you all have the staff reports that I sent to you earlier in addition to hard copies on the table. There's also material over here that will come into one of the cases. Thank you.
Is there a motion for the approval of the evidence?
I will make a motion to approve evidence.
A second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the introduction of evidence. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Evidence approved. Next item is old business. What do we have as old business?
We do not have any old business.
There's no old business to consider, so we'll move to new business. The first item on the agenda is the certificate of appropriateness to install a metal roof on the residence at 150 Seraphim. Is there anyone here to defend that?
Anyone here that wants to speak to that?
My name is William Fisher.
Sir.
Over here. My name is William Fisher, and the house you're talking about is a 150 Seraphim that I own, and it has a regular, regular shingle roof on it, and I want to put a metal roof on it. Is where I'm at. I submitted the application, the other paperwork here the other week, or several weeks ago, and that was the color I never picked out, but I was going to pick out a beige or a brown, but that's the type of the metal right there, and I sent the information in to you already.
Sharp edge.
I noticed there's several houses here in St. Genevieve with the same type of metal on them, so that's what I picked.
I will point out that the marketing material, this has come up before, for this type of roof does have residential application.
Yes, it's a significant improvement over some of our past submittals. With this, we have a product that is recommended for residential use. It's one of the things. Now, is there any other work needed? What is the shape of the roof under the wooden structure?
It's fine at the moment. I just know I have one water spot coming through the ceiling inside at the moment, So I had put a tarp over it over the summer there, and that's kind of where I've got it, and I just presumed I could go put a roof on it, but it's obvious I couldn't, so
Okay.
now I'm about 3 to 4 months behind, so I didn't realize this.
What about gutters and downspouts?
The gutters and all are all in good shape,
Okay.
and,
And the product is approved for residential use.
I make a motion, we accept.
There's been a motion to
I'll
accept.
second.
And a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion carried.
okay, thank you.
Bill, you can come back tomorrow if you want to talk permit, or you can wait till later this evening.
If I get off work in time tomorrow evening, I'll come in.
All right, thank
If
you.
not, I'll have to wait till Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
I'll see where I'm at. All right. If I came in before, what, 5?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All righty.
Next item is administrative approval.
We gotta go on down to this too.
You want to? Okay.
We did that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
The next item is the certificate of appropriateness to install an illuminated digital pole sign on the commercial property at 181 Washington. Anyone to represent that?
Yes, sir. I'm Michael Mills. I purchased 181 Washington Street. I currently own Buddy's Place Restaurant on Highway 61. We have a sign that we use there. You should have photos of it. We would like to get that sign and be able to move it when we open up the new restaurant at 181.
Is the sign gonna say ladies eat free?
The following day, or the day before, or you come in on your birthday.
I sent some information to you in the email, but if you so choose to approve this sign, and Mr. Mills is aware, there's several other layers. It has to go through planning and zoning, and then the Board of Aldermen for the sign. He is currently working on adding an addition to the building down at 181 Washington.
I see no reason not to allow him to have the sign.
There is, what I would like to see though is a comparison between, we have signs here on two different sites. One is on Highway 61, currently, I believe that's where the sign is.
Yes, sir.
And that's very appropriate at that point. You need that jazz light because you're competing with all the rest of the lights there and with traffic.
Yes, sir.
The new site is right on the edge of a historic district in which property owners are making investments and trying to make the area more more appealing and better business atmosphere as a historic district. And I'm not sure that if we stick a flashing sign mounted on a tall pole like that, I just don't think it's appropriate for that location. Parts of it could be, and the sign is a compartmental sign.
Yes, it's two different signs. There's a illuminated sign, and then the bottom's a digital, which tells our hours, our specials, whatever we want to put on there,
Yeah.
even to tell you happy birthday. But I've been told that it has to be shut off, if it does approve, it has to be shut off at 10 p.m., before 10, and it can't be lit back up till 6 a.m., and that's no problem. It can have a timer set on it, it automatically does it by itself, and we won't have to do nothing with it.
How tall, I know you submitted it, but how tall will it be?
Well, have to be tall enough for my patrons to walk from my parking lot through the handicap to the front door. So the bottom of it would be roughly 8 foot, and then it would be 6 foot above that. So right at 14 foot would be the top of the sign.
Do you know approximately how tall the building is?
At that point, I think it's the peak of the building's at like 17 feet is the peak. And it's going to be at the corner of the building, which is roughly between 9 and 10.
Would you consider just putting part of the sign up and at a lower altitude? That kind of seems strange, going down Washington Avenue and seeing that thing that high in the air flashing along. And across the street from it, the lady just is trying to make improvements into the historic school. The hotel has just invested significant money trying to make it attractive and approval as a business in the historic district.
Yes, sir.
It's a non-contributing.
You need a sign. I'm not saying you don't need a sign. I'm just saying that I'm not sure that the sign you have, which is very appropriate for the existing location.
Yes, sir.
Whether that sign is appropriate for the new location.
Yes, sir. We would like both of them, but if it comes down to it that we can only put the top half up, it's just what we have to deal with, is for the amount of money that we've spent on it. And with the amount of money that I'm sticking into the place, we would like to keep it if possible. You know, we abide by the guidelines for everything, and, you know, I could probably adjust the height a little bit, depending on where it's at. If I move it closer towards the middle of the building instead of towards the end, you know,
It
it
only
would
needs to
be,
be 8 feet high if it's over a sidewalk.
Yes.
Other than that, you could really do.
yeah.
Martha, did you have something?
It's a non-contributing building. It is a sign. It's not a permanent thing. I see no problem with him having his sign.
I think it would be good too, because I do work at one of the downtown businesses and we're constantly having to give directions. I think that would be something we can say, hey, if you head down this site, you're gonna see the big flashing sign. And it would just make it a little easier for everybody to find it, especially since people are familiar with where you're at now.
Yeah.
To moving, and
Especially being off the beaten path.
yeah, kind of down on Washington end. I mean, if you're gonna shut it off at night, I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I don't think it's gonna bother anybody.
Yep.
Because on the evenings when the Oris has things going on, they're lit up. And, you know, there's apartments above those buildings as well, so.
Good point.
I mean, there are some differences, commercial, and you're within about 180 feet of a residential district. I want to just say one thing, flashing keeps coming up. The sign can't flash. It has LED.
Yeah.
And it's lit, but it can't.
No, it don't do that.
Right.
But it changes from one screen to another.
Correct.
That says, you know, our hours, then the next screen comes up, and some of it just rolls. And it says, you know, our time, what we have on the weekends, our buffet hours, our morning hours, what's our specials, or anything like that. You know, and it says, check us out on Facebook. There's a bunch of different things that can be put on there. But it does, I don't think anything flashes that I know of. I know it changes from,
And that's really not part of what tonight is. I just wanted to reiterate that since the word came up. That would be what we go over the next.
there's no strobe lights,
Yeah.
no music, anything like that.
What, we have a motion on the floor. What is your exact motion?
I didn't make a motion. I just gave my opinion. I will make a motion then. I make a motion we accept as presented.
I second the motion.
Motion made and seconded to approve the sign as presented. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And I'm opposed.
Okay.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mike, as I was telling Mr. Fisher, I have everything, but you'd have to stick around. If not, come back by tomorrow.
No, I'll stick around.
Okay.
I am hoping that there is a review of this because it's even though we have passed it, there are obstacles to it being
Mr.
successful. So
Mr. Mills has to still go through planning and zoning and then Board of Aldermen. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is 284 Seraphim. Is there anyone to represent that project?
No. We would just like, we have a garage that needs to be torn down. We would just like to have permission to tear it down. So. And it is at 284 Seraphim.
Are there any questions from the board?
Tanya, did you receive a letter from the city? Or Tanya, I'm sorry. Did I-
Diane, yeah, the one that, yes. Dave sent us a letter stating that the foundation is starting to crumble in one corner. We had intentions of tearing it down, just hadn't gotten to it yet, and then we get a letter from the city. We'd just like to tear it down, gravel it, not put up another structure, so.
The concrete, it's kind of an aggregate concrete part of the structure is starting to severely deteriorate. There is some limestone there, but it's just a small portion of
Right.
limestone. And then there's part of it that's also brick, I believe.
I do believe so, yeah.
Are there any comments from our board members?
It's a toughie. It's tough, but I'd like to save it, but if it's gonna just sit there and fall down, then that's not saving it.
The owners,
That's one avenue, and I hate to make too many comments because I'm sitting in this seat, which I didn't want to sit in tonight.
the
But
owners,
I'm opposed to it.
the owners
And as a
of
board
the,
member, I'd like to speak my,
Okay.
or as a commission member, I'd like to speak my piece, and then we vote as we need. It's a historic structure. It's not the greatest thing, but it's in a historic district, and it kind of protects that border of the historic district. Now, with a little maintenance work, it could be a usable structure again and fairly good in appearance. If we vote to take it down and the property sells, it will probably be sold to someone that's not not among the richest people in the world. They'll have a car. They'll need a place to put the car. They'll come into us with a request to build the ugliest little metal stand that they can get, the cheapest one they can get to protect their car. And it will do that, but in the meantime, it faces the historic district. And that's my only objection to it, all right?
What makes this a historic building?
What?
What makes this a historic building? What is historic about a garage?
I am sorry, I cannot hear what you said. What is that?
She's asking what makes it historic.
The fact that it's in a historic district.
That shouldn't make it a historic just because it's in.
I am not
historic
saying the
district.
building itself is historic, but what I'm saying is it is a historic district. And work in the historic district, you have to consider it as a district, not as a series of little buildings.
That's true, but I think we should take in each building individually as it stands.
I think I probably said as much as I should, or probably more than I should, on the issue. Are there any other comments from commissioners?
Kenny, did you have something to say? I'm sorry.
Yes, I just wanted to throw out there that this is my in-laws' house. Both of them are in the nursing home. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So, I mean, we're just trying to keep everything up and running and keep, you know, we go up there weekly, we mow the grass, we keep everything up as we can, you know, and so that's, like I said, we were thinking about tearing it down, just hadn't gotten to it yet, so.
The residence itself is in very nice shape,
Yeah.
and from the exterior of it, as is the yard and surrounding areas, it's just this one issue.
Correct.
Do you have any plans to do anything?
I mean, with the house, you mean?
No, no, no.
No, with the garage. I mean, our whole intention is just to, like I said, to tear it down and then just put a gravel there so that there is parking off of the street, so.
In one of the pictures, it kind of looks like one of the sidewalls is like slanting, leaning. Is it actually doing that, or is it just the shadows?
No,
of the
it's
picture?
actually doing that. Like, if you can,
Okay.
the whole building is like leaning, yeah.
Why I said earlier,
Maintenance.
it may fall down. I mean.
Yeah.
It's a very small degree of lean, but yes, it is leaning.
I'm going to make a motion to accept as requested. That they
There's a
should be
motion
able
on the
to
floor
tear
to
this
accept
down.
the project as submitted. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I'll call for a vote. Those are in approval, and those who approve of the motion.
Aye.
Any opposed? And again, I will vote as opposed. The motion carries and is approved.
Tanya, I have also your application.
I'll come back.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is on the agenda are administrative approvals.
Yes, we had a couple cases of in-kind work. I put original brick. I was talking about that beforehand. I doubt that it's actually original to the primary structure, but the brick that was in the wall was reused. So attestation was provided by the Foundation of Restoration for the use of that brick in order to deconstruct and reconstruct the deteriorating parts of the east brick wall around the Gibor Valley Garden located at 1 North 4th. That's across from Valley. Tuck pointing and painting was also performed. It looks very nice. Then they also provided attestation for the use of original stones in order to reset parts of 2 plots and parts of the rock wall gate in and around Memorial Cemetery. That's all I have.
Wouldn't this just be like repair?
The next item on the agenda is other
Why
business.
should we have to approve repair?
You don't. I approved it.
Just informing you.
I'm just informing you.
Right. So I want to repair my steps of my front.
Mhm.
And I'm going to their flagstone.
Mhm.
The cement is starting to deteriorate. I've already talked to a guy to come in and repave them with flagstone. Do I have to come to get your approval? That's repair.
It depends on how much of it you're doing.
Well, I want the whole steps to look nice and to be coordinated.
According to the
I
ordinance.
don't want it patched, but it's all going to be covered with flagstone.
Sure. According to ordinance, we just need attestation that you're going to use the same materials that
Can I
was.
do that tonight?
I can print it off after we get done here.
Because he's supposed to come next week. I just considered it
I never hear that
repair.
from anybody. My guy's gonna be there next week.
We'll see.
All right, I'm sorry.
No problems. Is there any other business?
There is. We've been talking about some educational training for the past few months and trying to pin someone down, and Ms. Roush did that for me. She contacted a Dr. Hoffman from Southeast Missouri State University, who will be here on the 17th of December, our next meeting at 6 p.m. in order to go over the new 2017 Secretary of the Interior design guidelines. It'll be approximately an hour, we think.
And what is that date again?
It's the third Monday, so same as always, December 17th, 6 p.m. And the public is invited to attend also.
He's head of the
Good one.
historic preservation.
That's good
It'd be
news.
good to listen.
I hope we get a good representation from the public.
That would be nice.
That would be very beneficial to the country, to the community.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I'm going to ask you later. I'll wait till after the meeting.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all I have.
Any other public comments?
Good evening, thank you for your time. My wife and I just recently purchased 229 Robert Street, which is in the historic district. We're unfamiliar with the process. I didn't realize it looks as if everyone that has been here has already submitted paperwork to get on the docket to be able to make some type of a presentation or to have their case looked at. So if you, David, have time after the meeting, I'd like to visit with you, see what we need to do to start the process to be able to start making improvements to this home that is in dire need of some love and care, and we'd like to restore it to a jewel within the St. Genevieve Historic District.
Wonderful to hear.
What's the address?
I'm familiar with the
229 Robert Street.
I'm familiar with the property.
We can't find an age on the thing, and we've asked the assessor, and nobody seems to know, but it has a cement concrete foundation. We don't think it's a historic home, as it were, as far as when it was built. However, we understand that it is in the designated historic district. So,
Will you remind me your name again?
David,
Good name.
last name Grigaitis, Grigaitis.
Well,
You the David from up Bloomsdale way?
I am.
Okay, I was your neighbor right now.
Really?
Used to live, I lived.
Yes, you live down the gravel road
Yeah,
by the
there you
Moors.
go.
You did look familiar, yeah, good to
What do
see
you-
you. Won't take any more of your time, but if you have a few minutes after the meeting, thank you so
Understand
much.
that the purview of this board is to approve exterior work.
That's correct.
And that's,
And you can do anything on the inside.
Sure.
Right, so we're interested in window siding, other things to
Gutters.
improve the exterior of the house that is, needs to be done. It's,
I hope.
what's that?
Chimney?
yes.
Chimney, yes.
Oh, yeah, tuck pointing.
Yes.
Yeah, big time.
I'm very familiar with that structure.
Okay.
Yeah.
You live in the neighborhood?
I do not, but I have reviewed that structure.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Are there any other public comments? If not, we'll adjourn.
Thank you all.
Meeting is adjourned.